of Sha'ban, before the holy month of Ramadan, when we listen to the khutbah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, الشقي من حرم غفران الله في هذا الشهر. That was a warning to everyone that if you go through the journey of Ramadan and you don't receive غفرانullah, then really you are in a bad shape. You are a loser. الشقي, you are a loser. You gain nothing. If you went through this Ramadan, Shahrullah, Shahr Diyafatillah, Shahr Kitabillah, شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر. The nuzul, the visitation of all these heavenly forces, spiritual angels, they came to this earth on the night of power. So the month of God, the month of beautiful banquet of heaven on this earth, the month of Malaika, you did all this dua al-iftitah and dua al-joshan, Abu Hamza, Khatm al-Quran, all of these activities. If those activities didn't provide you ghufranullah, then really that is a big khasara. If you went through the holy month of Ramadan and fasted, and your siyam supposed to bring you to celebration of لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. The month of Ramadan is a month to accomplish taqwa Allah. There are so many philosophies for fasting, but the Quran chooses only one word. The philosophy of fasting is Ramadan is one thing, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. You were given this opportunity, then at the end of Ramadan you are Ibadur Rahman. You are Ashabul Jannah. You are Ulul Albab. You receive all these beauties in the holy month of Ramadan. So let Ramadan be Shahr al-Taqwa. And let Eid al-Fitr be Eid al-Taqwa. That you celebrate the piety that you practice in the holy month of Ramadan. Taqwa means the victory of our human side over our animal side. That nafakhtu fihi min ruhi is winning that part of salsalin min hama'in masnoon. That alamul ghayb over alamul shahada, alamul malakut, alamul mulk, alamul ghayb, alamul shahada, alamul batin, alamul zahir. The victory of alamul ma'na over alamul madda. That means Ramadan, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, means the victory of al-insaniyah over al-haywaniyah. Because we have part of us, one side is al-insaniyah, ruhullah, and one part is al-haywaniyah. The haywanat, the animals, they don't fast. If you have a cat, if there is an animal, if there is a dog, if there is, and they are hungry and they are thirsty, and water and food is available, the animals are not going to go, no, I'm fasting now, I'm not going to eat. They are hungry, they are going to jump and eat right away. They are going to drink right away. But it's only us, human beings, that you go home and the refrigerator is full of food and all kind of juices and fruits, and everything is halal and everything is mubah and nothing is wrong. But you say, no, I'm fasting and asa'im. This is only humanity So Shahr al-Siyam is that this part of humanity elements is overcoming the elements of al-Haywaniyah. So Eid al-Fitr, when we get together here for Salat, that is the victory of Jihad al-Nafs. Because the Holy Prophet said, أَعْدَى عَدُوُّكَ أَعْدَى عَدُوِّكَ نَفْسُكَ الَّتِي بَيْنَ جَنْبَيْكَ. Means an enemy more dangerous than Netanyahu and Gallant and Ben Giver and Smotrich and all these were criminals. And the enemy more dangerous than all of this is نَفْسُكَ الَّتِي بَيْنَ جَنْبَيْكَ. That nafs ammara, that greed and that arrogance and that selfishness and that jealousy and hypocrisy. These are the real diseases. These are our real enemies. And the Prophet said, أَشْجَعُ النَّاسِ مَنْ غَلَبَ هَوَاهُ. The most courageous, the strongest people are the ones who are victorious in their internal battle against these internal enemies. إن الله لا ينظر إلى صوركم ولا إلى أجسامكم ولكن ينظر إلى قلوبكم وأعمالكم. It doesn't matter your body, but your brain, your mind, your heart, your soul, they matter the most. And this is why the challenge of the holy month of Ramadan was to achieve victory in this area. من صام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. It's just a new birth. You are born again. The holy month of Ramadan is an opportunity of born again and a new life and a new soul. This is the meaning of لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ that Quran says. You receive that taqwa, means victory in all these areas over nafs al-ammara. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ of course has so many other meanings. At-taqwa means al-haq, al-adala. A person of piety is a person of justice, a person of responsibility, a discipline, determination, organization, accountability. A person who is muttaqi, this person is responsible, this person is honest, this person is determined, this person is disciplined. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. But one of the closest qualities of makarim al-akhlaq, one of the closest qualities in human values when it comes to at-taqwa is al-adl. Because Quran says, اِعْدِلُوا هُوَ أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى. Justice is the closest quality in relationship with the taqwa. And for this reason, Al-Imam al-Rahil, Imam al-Khomeini, Quds Sirru, he declared the last Friday of the holy month of Ramadan, the day of taqwa, the day that we are closest to لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. He declared this day as the day of Quds, means يوم العدالة, يوم الحقيقة, يوم المظلومين, يوم المستضعفين. That is a day of showing solidarity with those people who have been living under the nakba of Israeli occupation and oppression and apartheid and atrocities, torture, death and destruction for the last 77 years. Yes, 77 years of nakba, tragedy and turmoil. It started from Deir Yassin, later on in Sabra and Shatila, then in Gaza, and everywhere. 750,000 people were displaced in the beginning, 1948. And many of those people who were displaced, they moved to Gaza. At that time, 400 Palestinian villages were demolished altogether. But the same people who forced to leave their houses in Palestine and they moved to Gaza didn't find protection and security in Gaza either. Something that in the last 15, 16 months, over 200,000 of those women, children, innocent men, poor people were killed or injured. This is why the International Day of Quds is a declaration of solidarity with the victims of the highest level of injustice in this world. You are dealing with the Israeli entity that feels itself above United Nations resolution, never paid any attention to UN resolutions, to Geneva conventions, to ICC, ICJ. They never cared about any of these international organizations and human rights, because still they believe that نحن أبناء الله. Still they think لن تمسنا النار, that we are just chosen, we are different. So not only people of Gaza had no right to breathe, to declare their dignity, but any other community, any other nations that tried to protest genocide in Gaza was punished by Israelis and its supporters. Something even more dangerous, that this punishment was not limited to Lebanon or in Yemen or Syria and other areas in Iraq and other areas in Iran. No. This injustice in Palestine is coming even to the United States. The Israeli lobbies are threatening the US Constitution. Free speech in this country is under attack. I mean, if you look at the recent crisis in campuses in the United States, it started from that Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil from Columbia University, and then in Cornell campus, another PhD student was arrested, and then that Turkish PhD students from Tufts universities, all happen under the executive order of fighting anti-Semitism. And Mr. Trump, he knows his conscience, if there is a conscience, that these people, first of all, Mahmoud Khalil was not only a student visa, he had a green card, and his wife is American citizen. And the other students, they were not guilty of any crime, any sin. They participated in protests against genocide. So they are not anti-Semitic. They are not anti-Judaism. No, not anti-Judaism, not anti-Semitism. They are anti-injustice, they are anti-apartheid, they are anti-oppression, they are anti-occupation, they are anti-terrorism, they are anti-genocide, they are anti-war crimes, they are anti-racism. This is the problem. The president who promised to put American interest number one, America first, through these executive orders and these attacks on the campuses and innocent students, He is not putting American interests first. These attacks are attacks on American values, American Constitution, American freedom of speech, attack against American interests and image in the world. These are destructive. But as long as the president listens to Netanyahu and another war criminals in Israel, then the interests of America, image of America, integrity of America under attack. We are losing all of these values. Now President Trump wrote a letter to Iran and asking for negotiation with Iran. That instead of military confrontation, let us have negotiation. First of all, why you need to have military operation to begin with? But that, if the country is not fighting, you is not fighting anyone, what is wrong? But this is a good initiative from Trump of calling for negotiation. But I'm sure that a shaitan, a devil like Netanyahu, is not going to let this happen. He already started to jeopardize this idea of negotiation between the United States and Iran. He's been fighting for this for the last 30 years and more. That any time that there is a hope of diplomacy, he tries to either prevent it, and if he cannot prevent it, that jeopardize, just do something wrong. And this is not accident that the Iranian leadership, they replied Trump's letter yesterday to Oman government. They received the letter through United Arab Emirates, but they answered through Oman government. But the same day that this exchange happened, you see the craziness of Israeli government of increasing the bombardment in Lebanon and even in Dahiya, making all this tension and turmoil and barbaric bombardments and killing women and children, innocent people, just to change the subject, not to let an opportunity of diplomacy and negotiation and peace to happen. We are dealing with an adu al-majnoon al-mutawahish. What kind of world we are living in? We thought that now we have United Nations and Geneva and all these international laws and regulations. We are back, centuries back. That the law of jungle is back again. That they said now we warned Beirut. I mean, I was up last night, as a matter of fact, I didn't sleep. I was following news till Adhan al-Fajr. I said, okay, after Salat al-Fajr, I have some rest. That when I received this information at Fajr time that they are warning Dahiya and doing all of this in the south, honestly, I could not even sleep. Rightly after the Fajr either. And I said, what is this? That Israel wants to do something and now the whole world should beg Israel not to do that? It's just ridiculous. And from the podium of this prayer, I call the president of this country that you just had a Ramadan iftar in the White House. The mayor of Dearborn Heights, the mayor of Hamtramck, they were part of that iftar and many other diplomats. If you can enjoy an iftar dinner without fasting in the White House, let those who were fasting in Ramadan, in Gaza, in Yemen, in Sana'a, in Saada, in Hudaydah, other places, let them have an iftar. Why they don't have even food? This is the United Nations saying we ask Israel 50 times to let us take some food to Gaza. And over 40 times they deny that. So if United Nations cannot do anything in this world, so we see that the law of jungle is back in this world. We say to this president that you are a Christian person, Christian president. If you have any faith in Jesus, he said, what if you gain everything in this world? What if you win the world but lose your soul? Then what did you gain? Nothing. Nothing. When are we going to be humble and learn a lesson of how weak we are as human beings? We forgot about flood in Florida and fire in California. And just this morning, 7.7 magnitude of earthquake in Myanmar, right? I mean, when you don't sleep in the night and then you want to lecture, it's not going to be better than this. So when are we going to wake up, Mr. President? This is what Jesus said. If Myanmar, 7.7 magnitude of earthquake, all these buildings, subhanallah, from Myanmar to Thailand, hundreds of miles away, the earth was shaking. This is weakness of human being. Hundreds of people, because there is a military government, they don't give the right information. They said hundreds of people died or wounded, but the video that we watch is not hundreds. It's really like day of resurrection. It's like as a Shamsu Kowara, the Nujum and Qadr. It looks like a big explosion in universe when you see those videos. You have the King of England with all this power in Buckingham Palace had to cancel all of his appointments, go to the hospital because of his cancer. So isn't it time for our politicians to wake up and have some sympathy and empathy with those poor people in Gaza, in Palestine, in Lebanon, in Yemen, everywhere else? Remember this hadith that the Holy Prophet said, اتقوا الظلم فإن الظلم ظلمات يوم القيامة واتقوا الشح فإنه أهلك من كان قبلكم. There are two things that you have to be very careful: injustice and greed. Because oppression turns to the deepest darkness on the day of judgment. The day of eternity that you need all the light, you lose it all. That is oppression. And also greed at Tama, that destroyed all the communities and nations before you. When somebody came to Amir al-Mu'mineen, said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, tell me the distance between the earth and heaven. How far is that heaven from this earth? Imam looked at Al-Imam al-Hassan, his son. He said, you can ask my son. What is his answer? And the answer of the son of Amir al-Mu'mineen was this. He said, what you mean by the distance between the earth and heaven? Do you mean the physical distance? Maddul Basar, just look. As far as you can see, at that time they don't have all the science and technology and tools that we have today. He said, look up. As long as you can see, that is the distance, if you mean the physical distance. But if you mean the spiritual distance between the earth and heaven, the distance is da'watul madloom. When a madloom person calls, oh God, And he says, my God, look what is happening. Ahul Madloom, Dawatul Madloom, the call of an oppressed person. That is the distance. That is how short is the distance between the earth and heaven, that one one call, one kalima from the Madloom connects the earth and heaven right away. God is aware of that, and he said, إِنَّهُ لَا يُفْلِحُ الظَّالِمُونَ. The oppressors won't win. They are not going to be successful. They have all this لِلْبَاطِلِ جَوْلَ وَالْحَقِّ دَوْلَةِ. They have all this power. But it's not going to be like that forever. وَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلَبُونَ. Brothers and sisters, as we honor this day of Quds, International Day of Quds, of solidarity with the Palestinian and every Madloom in this world, inshallah we are getting ready for Salat Eid al-Fitr. We are going to have, inshallah, the first Salat this Sunday at 9 a.m. We started Takbirat and then the Salat. And also there's going to be another Salat on Monday. You know that based on the idea, the fatwa of Marhum Ayatollah Sayyid Muhammad Fadlullah Ayatollah al-Khu'i Ridwanullah alayhima, that is not about Wahdatul Ufuq, that the moon can be, it is about Wahdatul Layl, not Wahdatul Ufuq. The moon can be seen anywhere. We have only one earth and one moon. The moon was seen anywhere. If we share a night of anywhere in the world, that is the halal for everyone. And based on that, Sunday is the Eid al-Fitr, because the moon will be seen somewhere. But then the fatwa that says that if the moon was seen in one area, it is not halal for those who don't share the same horizon, the same ufuq. It should be wahdatul ufuq. Based on that, Ayatollah Sistani, Ayatollah Khamenei, others, that is a salat for Monday that inshallah we start on Monday at 8 a.m. the first salat, and the second salat will be at 9 a.m. inshallah on Monday. Before you come for the salat, remember that atu zakat. You know, Quran says iqamatu salat wa ita'u zakat, right? Aqimu salat wa atu zakat. This is the way that the Quran always said, your salat and then your zakat. But when it comes to Eid al-Fitr, it's opposite. It says atu zakat wa aqimu salat. You do the zakat before the salat, and that is usually, you know, $15. That now some people counted less, some people counted more.
So only the follower of Sayyid Fadlullah can have the Eid on Sunday, because Sayyid Fadlullah believed in the Falak, correct?
Yes, yes. Those who, and Sayyid al-Khu'i, Marhum Sayyid al-Khu'i, he had the same fatwa. So as far as we know, these two famous fatwa are focusing on not Wahdatul Ufuq, but Wahdatul Layl, Shay min al-Layl, even hour or 2 hours of sharing the same night time. So inshallah you do the zakat before the salat, and the zakat, if the best case for giving the zakat is going to be people who are suffering, whether those who have connection to Gaza, those who have connection in Lebanon, connection to Yemen. That's the best. If there is any way that you know in personal channels or organizations to send your zakat over there. And we as organization also, we are going to follow the same thing. Although there are, of course, there are fuqara here. There are a lot of people come to us with them and they ask for zakat of fitra, and we need to help them. So if you did not contribute during the holy month of Ramadan, so you have only today and tomorrow. The time is limited. Help the good causes. You know, the House of Wisdom during this Ramadan is almost $40,000-$50,000, just the expenses of services and utility and services in Arabic and English. Sometimes Hajjah doesn't like to sign the check. He said, it's too much. And I'm saying, well, what we want to do? I mean, somebody you invited from another countries, there are costs. There are service and there is cost for that. And we have to take care of that. And especially now, we have, I mean, there are certain things sometimes in the organization, they say, oh, 1 or 2 units of air condition don't work. Now each unit is $20,000, $18,000. I mean, 2 of them, 3 of them not working, you are talking about $50,000, $60,000. So you don't see it, but if it is too hot, then we know, we appreciate that we need to have air conditioning. So there are a lot of expenses of the center, but especially now that we are dealing with this new project, and God bless him, Haj Ahmed is working, Haj Ahmed Hamoud, who is the construction company, is working hard to put everything together, and inshallah continue this construction. Next Ramadan we are going to inshallah have this new facility for our youth ready. So we need very generous people in the community, and we know the priorities. We are suffering. We know that, you know, there are so many priorities, and House of Wisdom has been honoring these priorities, and we've been helping as much as we could during the last 4 or 5 months. But there are certain things that we need to invest for our youth, so we raise them in the right way, so they continue this legacy, and they continue the same message that we have for our future. Allahumma qil lil mu'minina wal mu'minat wal muslimina wal muslimat al ahya'i minhum wal amwat wa tabi' baynana wa baynahum bil khairat. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wal 'asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa 'amilus salihat wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. وإلى الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر. Please move forward so we have a space for everyone else, and we may have sajjad even on that area for people who are